Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Mukesh English, and this is your favorite YouTuber Mukesh Soni. Dear friends, in this video I'm going to explain a very interesting book, a very interesting novel, that is What Then Raman, written by the famous author Shirley Arora. And this book has 16 chapters, 16 chapters, and in this video you'll get all the 16 chapters summary in detail. So you should have the patience till the end of the video. So before that, it's our duty to know about the author Shirley Arora, who was born in 1930, passed away in 2021, a very famous American Hispanist and meologist, a scholar of proverbs. We can also say a folklorist, as well as an acclaimed writer of children's literature. She's very much famous for the children's literature. She bridged rigorous academic research with heartfelt storytelling, applying her deep understanding of folklore and proverbs to explore cultural narratives and human values. Her work her works on proverbs, indigenous legends, and the children's voices continues to influence the folklore studies and Hispanic linguistics and the youth literature. Now, what is this novel about? A brief note about this novel, about this book, Vardhan Raman. The novel Vardhan Raman by Shirley Arora is a novel. It's about a boy whose name is Raman, who belongs to a hill village in India, a village that's at the top of the hill that's in India. Raman is the first child in his family and village to go to school and learn to read. His father is a woodcutter who struggles to support the family, yet his father is determined that his son Raman will have an education. The story follows Raman's experiences balancing school, family responsibilities, and his dreams of a better life through learning. The story explores the conflict between traditional village life and the new opportunities that education can bring to him. So that's a brief note about novel. So let's have a look at the characters in this story here in this particular novel here. Raman, who is the main character, protagonist, a very bright, determined boy who is the first in the whole village who is going to learn from school. Raman's father, who is called as Appa also, who is a woodcutter. Raman's mother, Amma, she's very caring and the practical lady. Vasanti is Raman's younger sister who admires her brother, and wishes to learn to read. Even Raman also teaches her. Dasan, Vasanti, that's called Thangachi, sister. Dasan Thambi, the younger brother. So Raman is the eldest son here. Vasanti is her youngest, I mean to say her sister, younger sister, and Dasan is his younger brother. Munuswami is the schoolmaster, Raman's teacher, who encourages him to learn. Tumbu Swami is a bookseller who sells books in the bazaar. The Merkin Lady. The Merkin Lady is the American woman, like a tourist American woman who lives a part of the year in the hills. Not for the whole year, a few months she stays in the hills and she does the painting of the flowers for a book. She's writing a book, and for her book, she does a painting and she offers Raman to gather some flowers. Jesu Dasan. Jesu Dasan is a very close friend of Raman, but due to some conflicts, there's some distance between these two guys. Tata Netison. Tata Netison is the old storyteller who always tells the stories, who captivates the village children, who tells the stories to all the village children, right? And especially one famous story, he talks about a legend of an one-eyed tiger that's called Yellow Eye. So these are the characters you will get into particular story here. Let's begin it. So 16 chapters, summary in detail, chapter wise, and moreover, I have given a title to each chapter also so that you can remember the story. So have patience till the end of the video. Don't discontinue. I mean to say, you'll lose the thread here if you stop in between. So let's begin it without any break. Single video, one video for the whole 16 chapters. Chapter number 1. The title is here First Steps, Raman's School and Struggles. Raman is a hard-working boy who lives in a village in India, and he's the first in his family to go to school. His father, who is a woodcutter, who wants him to learn to read so he can have a better life, even though it's difficult for the family to afford schooling for Raman. After school, Raman's teacher Munuswami, he notices that Raman is reading stories instead of doing his lessons. So Munuswami, he tests Raman's mathematics skills, and he sees that even though Raman is very good at reading, though Raman is good at reading, but he struggles with arithmetic, especially with the new money system that's called Naya Paisa and Anas. Naya Paisa means to say 1 paisa out of 100. So the teacher warns Ramans that mathematics is important for daily life. For example, selling wood, shopping at the market. So he tells Raman that he should practice changing money and he should recite it the next day in school. So this is how his teacher emphasized that you should be strong in mathematics. It's a part of your life. Then as Raman leaves for as he leaves, Raman does not join the other boys. Once he leaves from the school, he does not join with the other boys, like playing by the lake. He does not join because Raman is very shy. And though Raman has a habit of reading, so he has more interest in reading rather than making friends. So, walking towards his home, he thinks about the challenges of learning the new money system, but still he is glad about the possibility of good dinner since his mother has already sold out all the vegetables that day. So he's thinking that his mother would be preparing a nice dinner for him because his mother would have sold all the vegetables for the particular day. So Raman, on the way, when he's going towards his home, on the way, he observes a beautiful scenery, and he imagines that one day it would be like to live in one of the richest bungalows above the hill. So he feels that he will also have a very nice house among such beautiful natural scenery, and that bungalow which he has seen, that bungalow belongs to a foreign visitors that called merkins. So he wishes he could live there, but he knows that those people they come only for a short vacation in each and every year. They come only for a short vacation. So finally, what Raman does, Raman climbs up to the rocky ledge and he takes out his storybook and he enjoys reading by himself in the fading sunlight before heading home. So he goes there and he starts reading the storybooks because he's very much interested in the storybooks. That's called Rocky Ledge. Now, the chapter number 2, Dreams Above the Hills, Stories and Aspirations. So Raman finishes reading his book and he enjoys the beautiful view of the plains as the sun sets. Plains in the sense the ground, because he is at the top of the hill. His village is at the top of the hill, and from the top of the hill, he can see the plain green yard or the plain land over there. He enjoys this beautiful scenario. Now his father joins him. They talk about the stories Raman reads and how his father learned the same stories from his own father without books. So Raman feels proud to be the first in his family who can read and dreams of learning even more, hoping to become more than just a woodcutter like his father. So as they walk home, as father and son are walking towards home, Raman sees a distant train heading to the city. He just sees that one train is coming towards the city and he imagines what it would be like to travel there someday since no train can come up to the mountain village. So he dreams that okay, one day when he has more money, he will also travel to the train by the trains because his house is at the top of the mountain. So when they reach home, his younger sister, what's his name of his younger sister? Vasanti. Vasanti shows him the blanket she has prepared, she has mended. Mended means to say, I'm sorry, some repaired. So Vasanti shows the blanket she has repaired, and his little brother Dasan, who has helped to gather the firewood. So both are the very younger brother and sister, and he is the eldest one. And his mother, Raman's mother, has cooked rice for the family, and everyone they eat together and on the banana leaves, and they sit on the floor. Very customary, very traditional family. And there's not much food and not much light. And after the meal, the mother grinds the rice and dal. Why? To make the dosa, to make the doses in English plural, to make the dosas for the next morning, right? So now Raman is practicing his mathematics lessons, and he's trying to understand the new money system by drawing lines in the dirt, but he finds it quite a bit confusing. The parents talk about how little rice they have left and how hard it is to sell the vegetables after the tourist called Merkin leave for the season. So her parents are very much worried, and they are thinking that now it's difficult to sell the vegetables, because generally what happens, the village is at the top of the mountain. So the tourists who come from America, from other countries, they are called Merkin, and they stay at the top of the mountain on such bungalows for a very short period of time in particular season. Now these tourists are leaving, and the mother or the parents are very much worried that now it will be difficult to continue the livelihood or difficult to sell the vegetables. Raman's father. So now finally Raman's father has taken some decision. Raman's father has decided that he should go down to the plains in the sense the ground, because they are the top. Ground means the ground, there should be some more villages. He should go to the plain down to look for the work, and which makes the whole family unhappy. Everybody gets unhappy because the father has to leave now, and the father has to go down to the mountain to work, because he will be going there for a long time, and Raman will have to help more at home. And now for this work he has to leave the school for some time being. For some time being, he may not be able to go to school. So even though he wishes to continue learning, so this chapter ends with the family who is preparing for bed, as the rain is going to fall, or the rain, it's about to rain that night. So chapter number 3, farewell to school, family duty and responsibility. So in this chapter, what we see here, Raman and his family wake up early to gather all the vegetables from the garden. So they have a garden, and the garden means slight some farmhouse at the top of the mountain, and they have gathered all the vegetables, because these vegetables they have to sell in the town bazaar. So children they help pick, they are picking up, they're tying the carrots, beets, lettuce, spinach. So while the mother is cooking the breakfast, and the father is packing a small tin box with all the things for a trip, because he has to go down to the mountain to get some work, to find some work. So after eating dosas and hot coconut chutney, the whole family leaves for the town together. The father and Raman with a tin box, and their mother with a vegetable basket on her head, and Vasanti who is carrying the baby holding Dasan's hand. Vasanti, who's also carrying Dasan's hand. On the way, they see other people going to work, boys taking buffaloes to graze, and women carrying vegetables. So when they reach the bazaar, the mother stays to sell the vegetables, while the rest of the family continues to the bus stand with the father. The bus is crowded with other villagers, some Merkin people, the foreign tourists. They are leaving the hills for the season. Raman's father gives Basanti and Dasan 1 coin to buy the sweets, and gives Raman also 1 coin. So 1 plus 1 coin. And he knows that Raman is going to save this coin for the books and he will not buy the sweets. So before leaving, Raman's father tells Raman that he says that I'm sorry, my dear son, you have to stop now going to school. And he promises that every rupee Raman earns for the family, he can keep one naya paisa for himself. So he gives a lesson to his son that he says that, my dear son, whatever the money you earn, you have to keep one part of the money for yourself. Means to say, if you earn 100 rupees, 100 paisa, you should keep one paisa. That's called naya paisa for yourself. So Raman's father encourages him to hold on to his dreams of becoming something more than a woodcutter and tells him that now, while he's going, now you are the head of the house and you should take care of everybody. This is what his father tells his son, and he teaches his son that you need to save one naya paisa out of whatever the money you earn per day. If you earn 100 paisa, you should save one paisa. This chapter ends with the father who is boarding the bus, waving goodbye as he's going away from the family. Raman realizing the heavy responsibility he has to carry now. So this chapter ends here. Chapter number 4, The Price of Learning, Leaving School for Work. In this chapter, after their father leaves on the bus to look for work, the children return to the daily routines. Raman goes early to the schoolhouse to tell his teacher, Munuswami, that he cannot come to school anymore because he must help at home now because his father has gone down to the mountain to the another town to earn. The teacher is disappointed, but he understands and he hopes Raman can someday return. Raman shares with Munuswami, his teacher, that his father's promise that every rupee he earns for the family, he should he should keep one naya paisa for himself for what? To buy the books. That's his dream. Although he realizes that it may take a long time to save even for one book also. The teacher Munuswami encourages him to keep practicing his arithmetic even outside the school also. So after saying goodbye to his teacher, Raman visits Tumbu Swami. Tumbu Swami, who is an old bookseller in the bazaar. So he goes to the bookshop, Tumbu Swami's shop, and he goes there and he tells Tumbu Swami about his plan to earn and save for books. And he asks him to have some new storybooks about Indian heroes ready for when he returns with the enough money. So he says that keep the new books ready. I'm coming. And I'll save a lot of money to buy the book. So Tumbu Swami is very supportive and he says, all the best, come back soon. Raman then meets his mother and his brother and sister at the vegetable market where his mother is bargaining with a customer over vegetables. So this scene shows Raman is going to adjust with his new responsibilities and his determination. He's so determined to keep learning even while working to help his family members. Chapter number 5, Lost Savings and Old Stories, the Family's Challenges. In this chapter, after the evening meal, Raman sits quietly on the doorsteps while his sister Vasanti strings the mushrooms for drawing to make it dry. She's just trying to just separate the mushrooms. Their mother, who's calm and graceful, has finished her household work, including cleaning the brass rice pot. Then she goes inside. Raman thinks about his father's promise that he can keep a small amount of money from whatever he earns for what? To buy books. But he hesitates to share this excitement with his mother, sensing that she might be worried about their difficult situation. So he doesn't tell this plan to his mother. Raman notices that his mother no longer wears her not nose jewel. She's not wearing the nose jewel, which must have been sold during a tough winter when money and food were scarce. He feels the weight of the family's struggle, especially they earn very little money from selling mushrooms, and many vegetables were left unsold. So solely they depend on the plain rice to fill their hungry stomachs. So now later, afterwards, what happens? Raman's uncle comes here. Raman's uncle arrives, who complains about his poor oversight, poor eyesight, and he says that I have very poor eyesight, and he tells Raman to read a letter which his uncle has received from his son who is in the city. Since uncle cannot read, so Raman follows his uncle to his small house, and Raman reads the letter very carefully by the oil lamp light, by switching on the lamp light, and he feels that the strain on his eyes. His uncle appreciates Raman's help in he asks him to write an answer the very next evening. So that shows that Raman is now educated and he can help the people by reading. So before leaving, Raman's uncle jokes about a local story of an one-eyed tiger named Yellow Eye. So Raman's uncle, he talks about a story that there was a tiger who has only one eye, and the tiger's name was Yellow Eye. So he says that this tiger seeks a revenge from an old injury. So Raman argues that the story is just legend, and the creatures like tigers cannot live so long or hold grudges like human beings. No, that's not possible. So his uncle teases him about what your schoolmaster has taught you, and he reminds Raman of the old stories which was uh, told around the fire by Tata Natison, who is a famous storyteller in their community. So at that time, Raman reminds one person whose name is Tata Natison. And this person, Tata Natison, who generally tells the stories to the children, especially in the night. So Raman feels conflicted because the stories that once used to fascinate him, now these stories has a very less magic because what he has read in his books. So since going to school, now he's not going to school and he has stopped attending the nightly storytelling gatherings. So he regrets arguing with his uncle about the tiger story, and he worries that it might confirm his uncle's doubts about Raman's schooling, changing him also. So at the end of this chapter, what we find here, Raman returns to his house and he finds it quite a bit dark and quiet, and he retrieves a small coin his father gave him from a secret hiding place behind a loose brick in the wall. He carefully puts the coin away and he prepares for bed, feeling the heavy responsibility of his family struggles, but still holding on his love for learning and his secret savings. Chapter number 6, a new idea, selling flowers to help the family. So now 3 weeks have passed without any news from Raman's father, who is still looking for work on the plains, on the down to the mountain. Food is running short. There's very scarcity of food, only rice. Even though garden vegetables in the mushrooms are a lot of mushrooms they have, but they are unable to sell. Raman and his sister Vasanti, they have started to gather the pine cones and mushrooms to sell as kindling, but that's also not in, even they are also trying their best. See here, these young children, they are gathering pine cones and mushrooms. They are also trying to sell, but even though their initiative is not much enough to support the family. So one day, sitting on a rocky ledge on the top of the rock, Raman looks out over the plains, over the down, and he notices the flowers growing below the path on the edge of the mountain. And he remembers the learning the names of many flowers from his uncle who has come and who told him to read the letter. And he remembers that his uncle used to tell many names of many flowers because his uncle was a gardener. Suddenly he got an idea. Raman thought, why don't I pick up the flowers from the bottom of this mountain, and why don't I sell these flowers to the wealthy people who are living in the bungalows above the hills? So excited, he starts gathering as many as flowers he can, and he starts climbing up the bungalows and hoping that at least somebody will buy those flowers. A new idea has come here. So most of the bungalows are empty, but at least one bungalow was there. So Raman meets the cook. The cook name is here Big Sundaram, who doubts whether the lady of the house wants flowers because she already has a beautiful garden. So he asked this cook and he asked him, will this lady will buy the flowers because already there's a garden in this particular bungalow? So Raman sees how magnificent the garden is and he feels discouraged. He says that, my God, this garden is so fantastic and the flowers which I brought from the down here may not be so important. But this cook, Big Sundaram, he allows him that go inside and you can ask the lady Merkin. So the Merkin lady, the American tourist who is in this bungalow, the Merkin lady who has one leg in a plaster cast, who is on a wheelchair, and who might be some fracture. One plaster of Paris is placed on a leg, and she tells Raman that she does not need garden flowers, but she would like to get the flowers if the flowers are from the hills. She asks Raman if he knows the kind of hill flowers she needs, but Raman does not know. But anyway, this lady encourages Raman to look for them and bring some hill flowers if he finds. So this lady says, don't worry, you go towards the hills and you find out if you are able to find out the hill flowers. Though I too have so many flowers in my garden, but I don't want these flowers, I want the hill flowers. So she has encouraged him. So now Raman starts going towards the mountain and he feels very hopeful. He says that at least this way I can help my family. So on his way home, he unexpectedly bumps up into his old friend Jesu Dasan. So on the way, he meets his old friend Jesu Dasan with whom he used to study in the school. And this Jesu Dasan, he starts making fun of Raman and he says, oh, scholarly guy, you have come. Jesu Dasan accuses Raman of thinking he's better than the other boys now that he can read, and mocks him with a sarcastic salute. So he says, oh, very nice. Now you have learnt everything. So he's making fun of Raman here. So that night, Raman remembers how close Jesudasan and he used to be, but now he feels separated because he's not going to school. He reflects his desire to study and be a scholar, but he's unable to do so. But he's not jealous from the other boys. He feels that he has lost Jesudasan's friendship and he wish he could fix it. He could patch up, but he knows the rift has gone too high. So Raman lies awake, troubled by Jesudasan's mocking words. He's trying to focus on the hill flowers that he has to find out for the Merkin lady, dreaming of beautiful blossoms, though in the dream, even he starts dreaming, and in his dreams, he finds they are disappearing from his mind until he is left alone and crying. The chapter number 7 begins here. Now we are half the novel now. Hill flowers and friendship lost. Okay. In this chapter, Raman and his sister Vasanti, they go to the pine shola to collect pine cones. So this is the picture of pine cones to sell, which helps the family to earn some money. While his sister Vasanti works quickly gathering the cones, Raman searches carefully, but he is disappointed to find a very few flowers growing in the shaded grove. So he's unable to get many flowers here. They stop to rest by a stream. Stream means to say a river stream, and they stop there. And there, Raman finds a small, delicate hill flower, exactly the kind the Merkin lady was asking for. Excited, Raman starts picking more flowers along the stream bank, and he tells Vasanti to take the pine cones back home by herself because he wants to focus on finding the flowers. Raman climbs to steep slope to deliver the flowers to the Merkin lady at a bungalow. But by the time he arrives that lady's bungalow, the flowers are quite wilted and unusable, means to say not usable. Now he has met the lady. This lady explains that she needs the whole plant with the roots to keep them fresh and asks Raman to bring no more not more than four different plants each day. See, now he has got a task. The lady says that don't bring flowers, I want the full plant. And every day I need four different plants. So now she has given him a small basket and a trowel. Trowel is a kind of instrument which you can use to dig the to take the flower, to take the plant along with the sand or the mud. So she has shown him that how to dig up the plants carefully so that you can bring them healthy with a life. So though he is very hungry, very tired, but Raman keeps the basket and trowel safe, and he returns to the pine shola to collect the pine cones and sell them. And he finally sells the pine cones, but very less money than usual. So he got only 30 naya paisa, which is very small sum for the hard day's work. Very least amount he has got, hardly 30 naya paisa by selling the pine cones. At home, his mother quietly accepts the money and prepares a plain dinner of rice without any spices because there is no money to get the ration, which the children find very bland, but anyway, they have to have it, no other choice. Raman reflects that he made a mistake by focusing only on the flowers first instead of selling the pine cones right away. His mother doesn't say anything, but he knows she's disappointed. Despite the setbacks, Raman is determined that tomorrow he will do better, and he carefully stores the tools for his flower gathering work, and he starts to try again. Chapter number 8. The Painter's Request. Fresh Hill Flowers. Now Raman returns to Merkin Lady's bungalow with a fresh basket of hill flowers he carefully dug up and he kept alive with the soil and water. He's proud because he made sure to first gather and sell pine cones to earn some money before focusing on the flowers. So his first focus was there to sell the pine cones to get the money, then start hunting for the flowers. The Merkin lady is very happy with the flowers and she pays him 1 rupee for the four plants, which excites Raman very greatly. He's so happy by selling four plants, he has got 1 rupee from Merkin lady. Now, she asked Raman to bring a large flat box from inside the house. She says that go inside the house, bring a large flat box. Raman is the moment Raman enters the house, he's so amazed to see the beauty of this bungalow because he has seen for the very first time. He's so fascinated by many hues, colorful books lining the shelves, much different from the small paper booklets he's used to. So, see, his eyes has gone where? At the bookshelf, and there he has seen so many huge books. For the very first time, he would have seen it with the colorful cover booklets because he has seen always the small paper booklets, right? So the Merkin lady sets up her painting supplies on the veranda and he uses the flowers Raman brought to create detailed realistic paintings of the plants explaining why the flowers must be fresh and hold to the paint them as well. So she says that, look, what I'm doing here, she's going to make a painting of those flowers for a book. That's the reason she says that these flowers should be fresh so that she can bring a good painting. Merkin lady asks Raman to bring a replacement basket and thanks him for his help before letting him go. So when Raman returns home, he feels very happy about the money he earned. How much he has earned? He has earned 1 rupee and 50 naya paisa, his biggest earning so far and an important addition to his savings. The family has a simple meal of rice and pepper water. Raman excitedly shares the story of Merkin Lady and the beautiful paintings with his mother, although his mother is quiet and worried, especially since they have had no news from Raman's father for more than 3 weeks. So it's been 3 weeks. Still, there's no news. Where is he? What work is he doing? But in spite of that, the mother appreciates all the family members to bring extra money to bring up the family to continue the livelihood. Now, later at that night, when everybody's asleep, Raman checks his secret hiding place behind a loose brick where he keeps the money he saves. He used to save the money behind a brick, and he just gets up very secretly and he's trying to dig up, he's trying to find out how much money he's got. But something unusual thing happened. To his shock and dismay, the clothes that held his coins is empty. The money is gone. Somebody has taken the money. He's so disappointed. He's searching the hiding spot, the floor again, but he does not find the coins. He wonders if his sister Vasanti, who might have seen the hiding place, she would have taken. So he feels numb and very desperate, and he knows that he must find the missing money, but he has to wait till morning. Then only he can ask anybody, then only he can take the action. Sorry. Now, chapter number 9, missing money. So, guys, it's a continuing video without any break. So, missing money and the growing dreams. That's a title of the chapter number 9. So now Raman wakes up and immediately he remembers that his saved money is missing from his secret hiding place. He suspects his sister Vasanti would have taken, but she insists. She says no, she has not taken. Then their mother mother quietly reveals that she has taken the money the last morning to buy rice because the family didn't have enough food. So who had taken the money? His mother had taken the money to buy the rice. Raman feels shocked and upset, especially the money was meant for him to buy the books because he has saved this money to buy the book. His mother, tearful, she explains that food is more important and she asks him to understand the difficult situation. Raman apologizes and promises to earn more money. He says, don't worry, my dear mother, I'll get more money. A few days later, Raman receives an envelope from his father through the bus driver, which brings some relief to the family because it has some money. His mother sends him to buy rice, vegetables, and spices with the money, and she tells him to keep the small change he receives as savings. She says that, okay, whatever the money is left out, you can keep it with you for your savings. Raman is careful now to save every naya paisa he earns. So he has become more economic now. Raman visits. Now, Raman is going to the bookseller. What's the name of the bookseller? Tumbaswamy. And he proudly shows that he has saved 16 naya paisa towards buying a new book. He says that, look, I got 16 naya paisa and I want to buy a new book. And there he observes a large, beautifully bound book that's called the Ramayana. So he says that, and this book has fascinated him because of its colorful pictures, gold embossed cover, which is very different from the other small booklets which he used to study. So he says that I want to buy this book only. Which book? Ramayana, this book has impressed him because of its colorful pictures and gold embossed cover. Tumbu Swami explains that the book is very expensive and this book cost 7 rupees. Question will appear, how much the book Ramayana cost here? 7 rupees, and he has only 16 naya paisa, right? Not even 1 rupee, which is more than Raman has saved. So Raman is determined to save enough money to buy this book one or the other day. That is the biggest challenge now Raman has here. So which book Raman has would like to buy? Ramayana. How much does it cost? 7 rupees in those days. The chapter ends here with Raman dreaming of owning such a book and resolving to find a new way to earn enough money. And he's inspired by his wish to be a scholar and have the books like those in the Merkin Lady's house, similar to Merkin Lady's house books he would like to buy. Chapter number 10, The Priceless Book, Ramayana's Allure. Now, Raman has saved 38 naya paisa, but he has to save how much? 7 rupees he wants to save. By now, he has saved 38 naya paisa, but does not look at the small paper covered books at the bookseller's stall anymore. Now, anymore, he's not looking at those minor books. His eyes always falls at the Ramayana book only. He's only focused on the expensive gold lettered book called the Ramayana, which he dreams of owning one or the other day. His family situation has improved slightly with regular money from his father, so they no longer worry about having rice to eat. Raman has stopped gathering pine cones and he spends more time searching for the new hill flowers for the murking lady who sometimes reward him extra money for some rare plants. So now his source of income, the major source of income has become here to get the new flower plants from the mountain for murking lady. That has become the major source of income. Now, Raman enjoys watching the murking lady. She paints the pictures of the flowers. She speaks slowly in Tamil, and through that Tamil language, Raman has learned that she teaches at large school on the plains. Plains means downtown, where both boys and girls study. So he has come to know that this murking lady is a teacher who's teaching to a co-ed school where the boys and girls are studying. Raman is surprised that girls attend school because in his village, people believe girls don't need schooling since they will marry and keep the house. Now, the Merkin lady, she explains that girls' education is very important because they teach the children who will continue teaching future generation. So their school also teaches practical skills like farming and caring for the sick. So Raman proudly tells the murking lady about his own schooling and how he is the first person in his family who has learned to read. The murking lady, she emphasizes that this is a great responsibility, and she asks him what he will do after learning many things. Raman is not sure, but he says he just wants to know the things. But she encourages Raman to think about how he will use his knowledge. Raman asks why she paints the wild hill flowers instead of the beautiful garden flowers. Raman asks him one question, Madam, why do you paint the wild hill flowers? You already have a beautiful garden here. The lady explains, very important. The lady explains that although the garden flowers are very prettier, the hill flowers belong to the hills and are more important to know about. She tells Raman that this idea applies to people also. She says he belongs to the hills just as the flowers belong to the hills. That makes him special. She reminds him that although she spends times in the hill, she does not belong there like the local people do. That's the reason that that's the reason that the flowers in the garden belongs to her, but the wild flowers do not belong to her. That's the reason that she would like to paint those wild hill flowers. So at the end, Raman asks if he can see the finished book someday. He says that, can I see the book which you are preparing? Can I see one or the other day? The Merkin lady says yes, but it will take some time, very long time to complete, and because she will be leaving soon and will return the next year. She says that she has to leave very soon and she'll be returning next year. Raman shares his dream of buying the beautiful gold lettered book from the bookseller someday, and the Merkin lady, she wishes him very good luck for this goal. So he has already shared that, Madam, I have a dream here. I want to buy the book Ramayana, which is very expensive book, gold lettered book. She said, all the best, don't worry, you will buy. Chapter number 11, teaching his sister and search for the orchid. So it is the last week of Merkin ladies stay in the hills. Raman worries that soon there will be no more chances to earn money by hunting flowers for her because she is leaving soon. Although he has saved 57 naya paisa. How much? 57 naya paisa, more than he ever had before. So it is still far from 6.5 rupees. Still, he has to get how much money? 6.5 rupees to buy the particular book Ramayana. So one day, while feeling sad, thinking about how to earn the remaining money, 6.5 rupees, Raman talks with his sister Vasanti. He asks her if she would like to learn to read, surprising her, and promises that he would teach her. Vasanti is very happy. She prouds that if she starts to learn from the old booklet which Raman used to read, Raman feels a new warm sense of power from teaching, thinking he could teach the little brother even Dasan also. Although it feels very strange that he won't be the only one who can read anymore, he decides that this is better and more important than being the only reader. Means to say, he decides that my brother, my sister should also learn to read through him. Now, the Merkin lady tells Raman about a special hill flower she has not found yet. That is called orchid that looks like butterflies hanging on a stem, comes in pink, white, yellow, or purple. So now the final challenge is given to him. She says that, my dear, you have to find one flower, and this is an orchid flower which looks like a butterfly, which hangs on a stem and which has the colors pink color, white color, yellow, or purple color. And this is a task you have. And she offers Raman 3 rupees for one flower if he's able to find. How much? 3 rupees. So that's great amount for him, which excites Raman very greatly because this is a very large amount of money for one plant. For one plant, she promises to offer him 3 rupees. Raman promises to look for this rare flower because she's going to leave in a couple of days. Now, Raman tries to find out where this orchid grow. First, he goes to schoolmaster Munuswami, and Munuswami says that, I'm sorry, I don't know much about hills or the orchids because he's from the plains, he's from the bottom of the hill. Next, Raman goes to his uncle's house because his uncle's used to be gardener and he has good experience because he used to be gardening at the Merkin's bungalows. So Raman describes the orchids as a flower that looks like butterflies on a stem, but his uncle says that he has never heard of orchids or has never seen such flowers in the hills or the gardens, but gardens, right? Now we are moving to the chapter number 12. The Legend of Yellow Eye and Orchid's Home. Raman, who is feeling disappointed and because he could not get any help from his uncle about the orchid flower, so where does he go? He decides to visit Tata Netison, who is a famous storyteller in the village, and because he has a lot of knowledge about the hills. So hiding in the shadows to avoid being seen by his former friend Jesudasan, Raman listens to Tata Neteson's old story about Yellow Eye, the one-eyed tiger who still prowls the bearded one mountain seeking revenge. So here he goes to Tata Netison, and every time how Tata Netison tells a story, and he does not go in front of him because his friend is also there, Jason Dasan, and here again Tata Netison is telling the story of bearded mountain. Bearded mountain is to say some lot of thick bushes, etc. And where one-eyed tiger, yellow eye, that's called yellow eye tiger, who is seeking for his revenge. So after the story, after once the story is over, Raman goes to Tata Natesan and he describes that he's looking for this orchid flower, which looks like butterflies, which is hanging on a stem. Tata Natarsan tells Raman that the orchid grows in the jungle forest on the slopes of the bearded one, the same place where the tiger's territory is. So he says that you have to go to the jungle forest where you can get a slope of the mountain where bearded is to say again so many thick bushes you can find in there. Raman is very cautious, but his he thanks to Tata Netizen for his guidance. I'm sorry, there may be some disturbance, some crackers. Anyway, we have to move on. So on his way home, he meets Jesudasan, who looks at him silently, but instead of teasing. Raman then rushes through the monsoon rain to his house, so it's raining. So, where his mother worries about his plan to search early the next morning for the special orchids at the dangerous mountain slope, Raman tries to reassure that the yellow eye is just a story, that he will be very much careful because he has planned that. He had told his mother the very next early morning he is leaving towards the jungle, and there he will try to find out the orchid flower. But her mother is worried because her mother has heard the story of this yellow eyed tiger. He says, no, no, don't worry, it is just a story. So, despite his efforts to calm his mother, Raman lies awake, feeling his heart pound with fear. Even he is also very much afraid, right? He reminds himself, hey, come on, don't worry, it's just a story. He's talking to himself that don't worry, it's just a story. Eventually, comforted by these thoughts, Raman falls asleep and ready to face the challenge of finding the orchids on the bearded one. Now, chapter number 13, Into the Jungle Ravine, the orchid hunt begins. Let's begin. Now, Raman wakes up early before dawn, before the sun rises. Quietly, he leaves his house, leaving his siblings sleeping, prepare for a search for the special orchid flower that the Merkin lady wants. He takes a pocket of rice, which he wraps up in a banana leaf for food, and he carries his basket and trowel as he starts his journey. You know, trowel, that instrument to dig the flower. The morning is very cold. The morning is very cold and damp. He walks quickly along the road towards a lake, passing people who are going about the daily work, and a very sweet vendor who very kindly gives him some snacks for his trip. So, reaching the crest of a hill, top of the hill, Raman looks out at the dark ravines and the towering barren mountain called Bearded One with lot of thick bushes. One where the orchid is said to grow. So that is the place where he has to go. Though he was not sure, but he was very cautious. He decides to descend into the ravine. Into the ravine means to say a sort of water or the kind of stream. Follow the stream that runs through it, marking a moss-covered rock to find his way back. So he has put some mark here. Okay, this is the way he has to come back. The terrain is very difficult, very tough way, with thick bushes, slippery ground, but he makes his way and he notices the signs of some sort of life. What kind of life? Like birds, ferns. They were searching for the while searching for the orchids. He finds some birds, some sort of ferns over there. So as he moves deeper into the jungle forest at the ravine's bottom, at the stream bottom, the sounds of busy village fade. Now there's no village sound. He feels the quietness all around, very much silence, only the jungle sound. The sun rises higher, warning him that he must begin his return journey at the afternoon. Whether or not, either he finds the flower or he does not find. Raman worries that he may have been misled about where the orchid grows, and he fears wasting his only day to find it, since the Merkin lady will leave the house very soon. Suddenly, Raman hears a noise hereby in the silent forest, which startles him, shocks him. This quietness makes every sound seem louder. He wonders if the forest holds any unexpected dangers. As he presses on with his search for the orchid, he finds very strange sound in this quiet jungle. He gets afraid. So what is this? Let us see. Chapter number 14, Climbing Trees and Finding Orchids. So now Raman feels very panic when he hears a strange sound while searching for the orchid in the jungle forest, and he runs to hide in a tree. He hides himself in a tree and he climbs high and he waits to discover the threat. What is the threat? The sound is here, stray cow. The sound was of what kind of sound of this one? The sound of a stray cow, which makes him laugh. He laughs, oh my god, it is just a cow. Near the tree he finds the orchid growing, right? He's at the top of the tree, and from the top of the tree he finds, my god, where am I? Here the orchids are growing, beautiful pink flowers that look like butterflies on a stem, just what the Tata netizen had described. Raman carefully digs up the orchids and places it in the basket. Now he's eager to find more. Raman climbs other nearby trees and he discovers two more same kind of orchids. One is pink, one is yellow with the purple spots. He collects three orchids in total. How much? Three. And though he was told only to get one, but he got three. The largest being yellow-green with red streaks. Raman is thrilled and imagines how much money he's going to get once he offers to Lady Merkin, because she said she'll be giving him 3 rupees for each orchid. Now he has got three orchids, so definitely he'll be getting 9 rupees, and he wants only 7 rupees to buy the book Ramayana, right? Raman thinks he's thinking keeping the extra money for himself to buy the special gold lettered book which he is dreaming, and planning to give the remaining 3 rupees to his mother as he's already promised. So he justifies this by thinking about how hard he has worked and how important the book would be for his learning. So after a simple meal, so he had a food by the stream, the river stream. Raman feels excited and very hopeful. Though it is too late to buy the book that day, he thinks that okay, today I won't buy the book. I'll buy it the very next day, right? So he plans to buy the book the very next day, but he's keep on dreaming over the book. He imagines the bookseller's surprise, his own joy at finally holding the scholar's book in his hand. So he has a lot of whims and fancy imagination that tomorrow the book will be in my hand, right? And the bookseller will be very much surprised having seen 9 rupees in my hand, 7 rupees. Raman also reflects on what comes after buying the book. He will read it, he will learn many things, proving that a woodcutter's son can become a scholar, which he would like to prove. That's a lesson his father has taught him, that With determination, he sets off. He moves to return to his home through the difficult jungle terrain, focused on his dream and hopeful for the future. Second last chapter, reward and responsibility, orchid and teaching. Now Raman arrives at the Merkin lady's bungalow late in the afternoon, very much excited to show her the three orchids he found, although the lady is no longer using her wheelchair and she's walking with crutches. She's very happy, amazed by the beautiful flowers Raman brings. She appreciates him for his hard work and she pays him 9 rupees, 3 rupees for each orchid, more than enough for the book he has dreamt of. Raman secretly keeps 6 rupees for himself, thinking about how he might buy the gold lettered book from the bookseller. When he returns home, his mother is so proud and pleased that he found the orchid and earned money. She says, from this money, he can buy a warm jacket for his little brother Dasan. See here, he has a dream to buy the book. The moment her mother saw the money, she said that, my dear brother, my dear son, please buy a warm jacket for your little brother Dasan from this money. That evening, Raman agrees to teach his sister Vasanti to read and also agrees to teach Vasanti's friend Mariamma. Later, even his former friend, old friend Jesudasan also asked that please do teach me. Raman feels very hopeful and happy that he'll be a teacher to many children in his village and that his friendship with Jesudasan is also going to be mending and now a good patch up is going to begin. Both of them are going to be friends once again. Raman reflects on the Merkin lady's words about teaching and responsibility and understands that his learning and teaching have a great purpose. Despite his excitement about the forthcoming book, he also feels the heavy responsibilities his father had left for him and he is overcome with the emotion before finally falling asleep. So this chapter ends with Raman setting out early the next morning, carrying the money he earned to finally buy the special book from Tumbuswami, filled with a mixture of excitement and disbelief that his dream is about to come true. And finally, the last chapter, the red blanket and the unbought book. Now Raman leaves early in the morning with the money he has earned from the orchids and he has decided to buy the special book he has dreamed of for a long time. As he walks through the bazaar, he feels nervous and surprised that this important day has finally arrived. But the reality still feels like a dream. Why? Before going to the bookseller, on the way, Raman stops at a cloth shop to buy a warm red woolen blanket for his little brother Dasan, who often feels cold because his mother told to buy the blanket. He carefully bargains with the shopkeeper, starting with a low offer and gradually negotiating until they agree on 5 rupees and 91 naya paisa, less than the original price, but still a good quality blanket. So he has purchased a blanket for his brother for how much? For 5 rupees 91 naya paisa. Raman imagines how happy his family will be to have the blanket, especially his mother and his little siblings, Vasanti and Dasan. Finally, Raman arrives at the bookseller Tumbuswami's stall and he observes at the beautiful gold lettered book, the Ramayana, that he has wished to buy, although he holds the blanket closely, but he does not buy the book that day because he has already spent 6 rupees on buying this particular blanket. So he does not have 7 rupees to buy this book here. So instead, standing quietly, he tells Tumbu Swami softly that it's a beautiful book and he promises he will buy it some other day. The bookseller, understanding the boy's feelings and situation, reassures him that the book will be there when Raman is ready. He says, "Don't worry, until you come here, I will not sell this book to anybody. You need to, once you come here, then only you can, I mean to say, the book will be here only." So Raman leaves the stall with mixed feelings, hopeful for the future, but realizing that achieving his dream will take still some time. So let's conclude the novel here. So finally, what we have seen after going through the 16 chapters, what then Raman? Raman does not buy the book at the end of the story, although he finally earns enough money from finding and selling orchids to the lady Merkin, or Merkin lady, just the amount needed to buy the important book Ramayana from Tumbu Swami, the bookseller. He ultimately chooses not to spend the money on himself. Instead, Raman decides to use the money to purchase a red blanket for his family, prioritizing their comfort and warmth over his own dream. He makes this selfless decision after seeing his mother and siblings struggling, especially his little sister Vasanti, who frequently suffers from the cold due to a torn blanket. So at the end, while Raman still longs for the book, he tells Tumbuswami, "Someday, Tata, I'm going to buy that book." The bookseller replies, "Someday you will. It will be here, Thambi, I promise." The book remains a symbol of Raman's dream and hope for future, but he does not possess it by the end of the story. So, friends, this is how I have tried to summarize, explain the complete 16 chapters of this book, novel, What Then Raman, which is in the third semester BCA General English SCP syllabus under Bangalore University. I hope you have liked this video. Please do write the feedback in this comment box, though it's a bit long, but definitely it will help you to cover all the questions from the particular novel. So thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe the channel if you have not yet subscribed, and also share this video's link to your friends, to your classmates, and any questions, any queries, feel free to reach me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com. Thank you once again. Stay in tune with Mukesh English.